Hey guys, it's Kathy. I hope you're doing well. What is today? Thursday. Oh no, it's Friday now. It was still my Thursday because I haven't been asleep yet. So it's Thursday. Mm. Oh man, I was so torn about what I was going to show tonight because I'd have a really good one or a bunch of good ones. So I went with a bunch of good ones. That's what we're going to do tonight. I already made my decision. I'm not changing my mind, but it was a struggle, let me tell you. So yeah, the giggles. Okay, I just have to tell you when I first started. Again, the way I started was I would find these little clips and send them to Mike. Law Talk with Mike. And when I would do that and put it in his Discord, I would get a bunch of people from his Discord come over to my channel, and then they just started to subscribe. And back then it was just clips. I wasn't even a channel. I was a person. I wasn't court vibes. I was just a person. And all these people were subscribing. Um, well, then Mike, told me that I should get monetized. I should do this. I should do that. So I did it. And when I first started playing my clips, they were so funny to me. And I didn't mute at all, ever. I never muted. I just went with it. And if I laughed into the microphone. Well, back then, the majority of people who came over were men. Um, I don't know why. It was just all men. Oh man, did they hate that? Let me tell you, I got comment after comment after comment about how horrible. You can't see those videos anymore. They've been taken down. Um, but they were brutal. They were so brutal that I just muted. I just said a few words and that was it. Here's the case. It's this girl or this guy, and then that was it. But then there were a few people who were like, no, don't do that. It was a tiny tiny little bit of people. No, don't do that. And all the all the people who hated the giggles, they dipped. They left right away. They were like, I can't handle your voice. I can't handle your giggle. You just need to shut up. But the people who stayed, they were like, no, more, more, more. And then slowly, like the women started to outrun the men, and I got less and less and less of those comments. So yeah, yeah. When I first started, there was. I mean, they hated it. They absolutely hated it. They said if I ever heard it again, it'd be, you know, too soon. It was bad. It was brutal comments. Lots of them I had to delete because there's a lot of swear words in there. And I'm sitting here wondering, how can you get so mad and swear over a giggle? Like, what's going on? I didn't ask you to come here. Go away. Leave me alone. I hope you stub your toe. Um, so yeah, that was crazy at the beginning. Let me tell you, you gotta like not. You have to read the comments and then not read the comments. You have to listen to your comments, but not listen to your comments, and that's how you do it. That's the strategy. So I couldn't watch chat while I was talking because I get easily confused. But hi Lightfoot and hi Lori. And I hope I didn't miss anybody. I don't think I did. Nope, I'm good. I'm golden. I'm a professional. All right, let's start. you know, I got all these kittens here, and let me tell you, if you don't think kittens are evil, you've never had a kitten. That's all I can say. These kittens are driving me up the wall. They are going up the wall. They are running all over the place right now. It's in the middle of the morning. They should be asleep. Court vibes in the kitchen. uh, yeah, professional. Hi, Connie. All right, we're going down to Georgia first. We're all going to be plum tuckered out, bless your heart. Here we go. As soon as I can click it, I'm going to start it.
Mr. Corson is back once again.
Yes, how you doing today, Judge?
I'm good.
When the judge remembers you, it's always good. Good.
Mr. Corson, you've had, first of all, let's start, I guess, at the beginning. You were sentenced here 2 separate cases, one for aggravated assault back in February of 2020.
Yes, sir.
20-year sentence, subject to RSAT, and of course you've had, RSAT didn't work out. You went to New Beginnings in Christ, that didn't work out. Then you went to Skills in Hazelhurst and left that program. Apparently told them back in 2021 you'd rather do your time in prison rather than go to RSAT.
I completed RSAP, sir.
Yeah, you may have. Well, it says you go to RSAT again. It said you failed RSAT the first time in 2021. And you admitted to that back then. You also were sentenced in 19 CR 195 to,
It's a typo on that
Yeah,
one.
Judge,
the
there's a
77
couple.
case was also an aggravated stalking. Yes, ma'am.
So the 2277, I believe he was actually sentenced on June 16th of 22,
Okay.
not February of 2020. So the first 2 prior revocations on 2277 do not apply to that case,
Plead
only
guilty
to
to the aggravated
19195.
Okay. That case, 22 CR 77 has got 7 years and 10 months left. The other case has got 15 years left on it. In any event, they allege now that he's violated the terms and conditions of his probation yet again by driving with a suspended or revoked license and using alcohol. Right? Is that an admission, Ms. Payne?
It's an admission on the suspended license, and he denies the alcohol.
All right. Well, they said he admitted it. So I guess we need a witness to come testify that he admitted it too.
Your Honor, I can briefly call Officer Branch to the stand to elaborate on that second
All right.
violation.
She's who served you with your petition. You signed for it.
I'm just asking you about like exactly what you said.
Yeah, that's your probation officer.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give in the case now and hearing be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Please
You
have
can sit down.
please have a seat.
She's got to sign.
Will you please state your name for the record?
Trudy Branch,
Where do you work?
Department of Community Supervision.
And how long have you been doing that?
It's almost a year since August. That's August.
Almost a year? As I assume you're a probation officer pretty much. As a probation officer, have you had occasion to supervise Mr. Billy Corson?
I was not able to supervise him during the time that these violations occurred.
Are you his supervisor now?
Yes.
Okay, so you have access to his prior notes and everything
Yes.
in your system?
Mhm.
Okay. Do you have knowledge of the defendant admitting to using alcohol about October of 23?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about those circumstances.
So on October 5th, there was a residence verification by one of our previous officers. When he arrived to the house, the defendant was in a vehicle getting ready to leave, and then he came back to the house when he saw him. When he got out the vehicle, he seen that he was stumbling, slurred speech. And
Say he, are you referring to the defendant?
the defendant's, slurred speech. So he asked him how he had been drinking, and he admitted to using 4 beers.
Defendant, I'm sorry. There's a lot of.
The defendant admitted to using 4 beers.
Okay.
He was trying to drive. The defendant was trying to drive. He had his fiance in the car with him. So the officer asked the fiance to drive, that he was no longer allowed to drive if he was under the influence. So that's when he admitted.
Okay. No further questions.
Ms. Payne? And why is this just now coming here in May, when both of these offenses occurred in October and November of 2023? 5 months ago, 6 months ago, 7 months ago.
I seen that violation in review of the case once he was arrested.
Okay.
And so that
Whoever was
wasn't
supervising
addressed.
him then just didn't bring it up.
Right, it wasn't addressed.
Okay, all right.
Officer Branch, who was that admission supposedly made to?
Officer Lowry?
Who?
Lowry?
Lowry.
Do you have a first name to go with that?
Timothy Lowry.
Okay, and who is he an officer with?
He's with DCS. I believe he's out of another county.
Okay, do you know what county he's supposed to work with?
I don't have my computer at the moment, so I don't know the county right now.
Was he being supervised by in another county? In other words,
Yes, I think that's what was happening when they were trying to do a residence verification,
Okay.
but I don't know the county right now.
you stood up over there, you got information?
They did arrest him at that time. That was in Jeff Davis, and he's been in Jeff Davis County Jail until we've been.
Okay.
You can testify, but not yet.
All right. Okay, so your understanding from your records is he was arrested in Jeff Davis County back in October, in November at least.
I'll find the exact date for you. They have it as
Okay, I'm sorry.
Defendant. He was arrested. They drafted the warrant prior to that.
All right, but then he had another offense in November. You said October or November 27th?
He was arrested. No, I'm sorry, November 27th. But they drafted the warrant before you.
All right. You have a record of where he's been since November of 23? Where do you show you got him from? You got any idea why I was in Montgomery?
So they were just serving the building probation warrants?
Yeah, okay. All right. And that was Timothy Lowry, and you said he was a probation officer? Or?
Yes, sir. He goes by Jeff. He's on the 20th circuit, which is in the lane of a crane.
Yeah,
That would make sense.
yeah. Okay. All right. Anything else with this witness?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Payne?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am. You may step down.
Mr. Corson would like to address the court, Your Honor.
Sure.
Stand, if you want to stand, that's fine.
You can stand there.
Do I need to be sworn in?
Nope.
No,
This right here, Your Honor, towards the driving on suspended driver's license. Then my wife was coming back that night from the hospital from Hazehurst. The suspended driver's license, they said, was suspended back in 2014. I've renewed my license twice since then. The DA over in Jeff Davis County, after I went to court about it, I had to go get a letter from DMV, which I done got. It's at the house. And then I had to pay the $90 what's it called?
Restoration fee.
Yeah, restoration fee.
I done
And
did
then
that.
who's gonna get that dropped off there? Some kind of computer glitch, because, sir, I've
A
done
glitch?
renewed my license twice since then. And that's what they couldn't figure it out. But this thing about me being arrested and, you know I'm blonde and I'm some dumb, but I ain't plum dumb. I'm not gonna sit there if I'm drinking and gonna tell some probation officer, I don't remember nothing about this, because,
I love
Maybe
that.
that's because you were drinking.
sir,
Maybe you don't remember it because you were drinking.
Sir, I drink beer, which is a non-alcoholic. It's actually O'Doul's, usually what I drink. But Heineken's has got it, Corona's got it. I drink for the taste, like most people drink soda waters. And I drink beer usually at lunchtime, which is a Heineken's. It's zero, it's non-alcoholic. I don't drink.
Nope. I can't let that one go by. Soda water. Sody water. Sody water? What is sody water? I love this guy. I love this court. Maybe nothing happens here and I just got it because I'll bless their hearts.
Drink beer to get drunk. I have not drunk no beer with alcohol or nothing in it for almost 2 years now. But this is what they was talking about. I've been in jail and was brought from jail to here. No, sir. When they took and I got there jail in Hazelhurst, I wasn't in jail a few hours or so. They released me from there on my own reconnaissance. And I've done been to court on that deal and all that, and I've been at home. When the law came out there to my home, it was because my wife had been off her meds. She takes antidepressant medicine and bipolar, which I think we all bipolar in some ways. But she takes that stuff like that, and she hadn't took it for about 3 days, and she flipped out, which ain't the first time. And when they come out there, the young cop took and arrested.
I see some people in chat are tripolar.
Arrested her, but then they turned around and called my name and found out I had a probation warrant on me. But I've been doing everything I've been told to do. Last time I was in here, last year of September the 21st, I believe, when you released me, because probation had said I did not do the 9 months rehab, which I've done 10 and a half months. I proved to you I did. I've done all that. I've done everything towards incarceration, rehab, everything I've been after, even the RSAP. The one in Bainbridge, the reason I got put out of it, because they weren't giving me my mental health meds. So then that's when they sent me to Baxley to the ITF. And there I took my meds. I'm still taking my meds. I go to the VA over in Dublin. I mean, I done from 89 till 2000. I'm just an old wore-out Marine, sir. And now I'm trying to live the life. I've got me 2.2 acres land. I got a wife. Fixing to see my grandchildren in July for the first time. I ain't doing nothing. Since you sentenced me, I haven't been in no trouble. I've been right there up under the radar, sir. I'm working, still got the same job. If this was done, what they say in 5th of last October or something, why wasn't as an officer, if I was drinking, why didn't this officer detain me then?
That's a good question.
And then why was it till when I looked on the warrant, why was it all the way till December before they put a warrant out for me? I'm at the same address, same phone number, same everything. And then why was it in March before they decided to come pick me up? I ain't moved nowhere. I'm still here. I'm a little uglier than what I used to be, but I can't help that.
Probably not.
No, sir. I mean, no, if my life gets any better right now.
Who picked you up and where?
Mr. Marty Craven picked me up. He's a good friend, good person.
Where from where?
At my house.
Which is where?
Where? Over in Uvalde. I got a campground. Me and my wife on a campground down at Dead River. More like a homeless shelter, if you ask me. Yeah. But we got a place down there. Marty, he come up there. I wasn't no trouble. The captain, tell you, I never give no officers no trouble. I mean, when Marty come got me, I come out in my underwear eating chicken. And he was like, man, they took run your name. And, well, it wasn't funny about the chicken anyway.
Get that out of your head.
But, I mean, the captain will tell you, have I ever given y'all any trouble, Captain?
He just talks a lot, Your Honor.
Yeah, I like to run my mouth now. But see, I work in tire business, so we have to sell tires, brakes. I do mechanicing. So I'm good at what I do.
I understand. Where do you work?
At Corson's new and used tires in Douglas, same place I worked last time. Last time I almost lost my job. This time I did lose it, but then I found out that, well, our new management guy, they got to have me back because my customers love what I do.
But that's in Douglas?
Yes, sir. Corson's new and used tires.
In Douglas?
Yes, sir. My Uncle Charles and him, he's done retired and all, so now Austin, I can't remember his last name, a 31-year-old child, but he's more computer inclined than I am. So he runs it, but me and him get along about like, well, you put me and him together, we kind of like dirt and water. We turn into mud.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, I'm good at what I do. He's good at what he does. So I still go there. And then McCrae, M&H, that's another place he owns over there. So I'm back and forth.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. And thank you for hearing me out.
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, this defendant has 49 cycles on his criminal history, 4 felony convictions. This will be his 3rd revocation, not including the whereas order when he failed DRC and was sent to RSAP.
Did he complete RSAT?
I believe he did complete RSAT. I think he did complete RSAT. Officer Lowry, in his case note, at the end of his case note regarding the alcohol, he said that it is his suggestion that he be sent to RSAT or prison due to his reckless behavior.
Yeah, but he didn't arrest him. I mean, that's the.
DA's office doesn't have arrest powers.
I understand. I'm not fussing at you. I'm just saying it's a failure of their system. When if he was drinking that day and was trying to get in a vehicle and drive, how much sense does it make to just walk away and write a report and not do anything, not get a warrant or do anything else until December? And another frustrating part about the DCS, and it's not the local people's fault, not any of the agents' fault. When they do a warrant, they don't care if you're sitting at the house where you've always been or if you're at work where you've always been. They just put it in the file and sit down. They don't go pick you up. They don't go look for you. They don't do anything. It's the official policy of the state. Just don't even go look for them. Do a warrant, put it in the file, sit on your behind. It's very frustrating. And then we end up here 5 months later, 6 months later, trying to figure out what, if anything, to do. I mean, he has got you're right, the number of revocations, but y'all suggested resolution, y'all just arguing resolution, what are y'all doing?
What's that argument?
Well, we're going to ask for credit for time served and an early termination.
Don't get greedy.
Well, at least at least credit for time served, Judge.
Say that. Yeah, the early termination might be the greedy part. You forgot what courtroom you were in.
I did for a minute, sorry.
Yeah, the mental lapse. What's your suggestion?
The state is asking for PDC time followed by the TOMS PTR program, preferably 120 to 180 days in the PDC. However, if your honor is so inclined, that's to give him less. But we do recommend PDC time of some amount followed by the PTR program to hopefully get the drug treatment.
You live in Uvalde now? Is that where you live? You live in Uvalde?
Yes, sir. That's where pretty much I was in by day when all these charges first counted by. But yeah,
but you live in Uvalde. Can I?
But I'm.
Okay, a little water.
Like I said, John.
Water. Yeah.
I've still got the same address, and I've never failed a drug test.
Where do you live?
In Uvalde. It's counted as being in Uvalde, Georgia. It's at Dead River. I live right there on the river.
What county is that in?
Montgomery. But But I've never failed no drug test or none of this stuff, Your Honor. I've always passed a drug test.
Well, you've been in the treatment several times. There must have been somebody thought you had some drugs or something going on.
No, sir, I've never even had a drug charge.
I love that red shoe though.
All very confusing. What kind of mental health meds are you on?
Sir,
What kind of mental health meds are you on?
between Seroquel, Risperdal, Remeron, Rebusic, several ones. Some of them come from Piling, some come from the VA, but basically,
All
Your
of
Honor, I
them.
try to just not take, but only the certain ones maybe at night, because a lot of them, between me doing my job and all, I don't want to walk around going, duh, be dumbfounded. Because you go to take a person's brakes off and you messed up on some kind of drug like that, then somebody might not be stopping when they need to.
That's a good point. The original sentence in this 2019 case sent you to RSAT for some reason. And they suspended RSAT upon completing the DRC. They must have thought you had a drug or alcohol problem, or they wouldn't have recommended RSAT.
That was something to do with my mental health thing. That's the reason they sent me to Bainbridge. And when I got to Bainbridge, they wasn't giving me the mental health meds that was required. So then Bainbridge, there wasn't no outburst, no me fighting or nothing like that. They just took, I had to sign some kind of sheet, and then they took and sent me back here, and then I went from here to the ITF in Baxter, and then they started giving me all the mental health medication required. And I completed it. The whole 8 having no trouble, wasn't put no hole. I mean, I've done everything I've been told to do. Just like last year, I done when the PO told me I could go home. I was through with all that. You sent me home. You seen that I proved that what I said was right.
But now, just a few minutes ago, when we called this case, they asked about driving without a license or why your license was suspended, and you admitted that.
Yes, sir, it showed it.
But you're telling me now that it wasn't suspended, or you didn't know it was suspended?
I didn't know it was suspended. They said that my license had got suspended in 2014. I've been driving since then, doing road services, and done been through roadblocks, and done renewed my license twice. Oh, sorry. Dang.
Yeah.
Twice since then. I think picks up good.
Yeah.
Yeah, twice since then.
You better check that out to see.
The DMV in Hazelhurst checked that out and said they said it was a computer error or something. But I mean, it takes a human to put something into a computer.
I'm not able to run
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
those.
Yeah.
I'm getting my license back, Your Honor.
You Okay, yeah. He lives in Uvalde. Technically, he's on the Toombs County, Montgomery County line, kind of, sort of, down in that area. Can I get him supervised by Toombs County? Yeah, and he's working in Douglas, so he can certainly report to Toombs County. And maybe I can get some decent supervision, and people know what he's doing and check what he's doing and give him blood tests and drug tests occasionally to make sure he's staying clean and sober like he says he is. I do notice a lot of confusion in this file. I'm going to revoke him to time served.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
And I'm going to have you supervised by my people
Yes, sir.
here in Toombs County. Listen to me now. Quit talking just to
I am. I'm
listen to
trying
me.
to pull this thing up.
I understand. They're going to supervise you. They hopefully going to give you random drug screens. They're going to check on you, make sure you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and not doing what you're not supposed to be doing. Don't be driving until you do get your license back or get it, something cleared up so that you got a valid license in your hands.
Yes, sir.
Make sure you got all that straightened out, okay?
Yes, sir.
Take your mental health meds like you're supposed to. And don't wait 30 days or 60 days or 90 days. If y'all catch him drinking, arrest him right then and give him a test. Don't wait and say, oh, well, I thought he was drinking and he said he was drinking, but I didn't do anything. I just let him go back home and drive to work. You know, that doesn't get the job done. All right. Thank y'all.
They're going to be on me now like a bulldog.
I hope so.
Me too.
But if you living like you say you live, it won't be a problem.
Do I still have to keep calling in like I normally do?
You're going to have to report in live, most likely, for a little while.
Okay, that'd be fine.
I mean, you know, you can report live and in person, or they can find you at the,
Continue.
or I'll put it to you this way. You can either be in the probation detention center where we'll know where you are. Listen to me. I can put you in the PDC, the probation detention center, then I'll know where you are.
Yes, sir.
Or you can report live to probation. I want him back on active supervision, reporting live. So then they'll tell you when you go from reporting live to calling in, they'll tell you when that happens. Until then, you report live. And if you need to report one day, you can get in your car and drive through Lyons and then go to Douglas to go to work, or either come back through here, one or the other. But you got to report live to one of my probation officers in this circuit so that I can get some accountability.
I can deal with that.
All right.
Carson Matthews.
Her and he were like,
Oh. See, that would be an error. That's okay. I have another clip coming up of him, and it looks like I caught myself searching for it. Oh, man. All right. You know, every time you think you want to clip something that man says because it's awesome, he doubles down. He doubles down and doubles down. All right. All right, he said a lot, guys. Carolyn was the best. When the judge asked him what meds he was on, Carolyn said all of them. And that's true. I think, though, the best was the when he came out in his underwear eating chicken. I think that was the best. I just don't know. I don't know. He had a lot of good ones there. Oh, man. Okay. Let's go elsewhere. Let's just go somewhere else for now so that we can, get our heads back straight. I don't know if we're going to be able to, though, because we're going to Wisconsin. But don't worry, guys. There's no Wisconsin accent at all in this entire clip. They might almost touch it, but nope. They just do us dirty. I don't know why. I mean, how can you be with from Wisconsin without a Wisconsin accent. Somebody needs to write a letter or do something about this. Fozzie, that's your job. You need to go and teach everybody from Wisconsin how to speak correctly so that we have accents in our videos. Here we go. New judge.
All right, we'll next call the cases of the state versus John Thomas. They are cases 24 CM 900 and 24 CM 959. Appearances, please.
The state appears by Assistant District Attorney Thomas Valerio. I appear in person.
Mr. Thomas appears via Zoom from the Dane County Jail. John Helen, on behalf of the Public Defender's Office, appears.
All right, and Mr. Thomas, I want to confirm that you can hear us okay. Can you?
Yes, but Jan, can I speak to you just a second?
Yeah, I can hear you. You can say something if you'd like. Here's the downside. The court reporter takes down everything that's said, and there's always some chance you could say something that could get used against you later on.
I understand.
But it's up to you. Do you want to wait and see what the lawyers have to say first?
I'd like to wait to see what the DA and the lawyer has to say first.
Yeah, it makes good sense. Thank you. So Mr. Thomas does have a couple of open misdemeanor cases assigned to Judge White. The new one would be the third. In one of those cases, 24 CM 900, we're here for the purposes of a bail hearing. That's because Mr. Thomas was a pretrial services participant, and then the new arrest that became case 959 generated a violation report. Maybe the best thing to do is to start with Mr. Valerio for his position regarding bail in these cases.
All right. So I'm asking for $500 in each case. I think the case for which we're here on a bail hearing, sorry, I just want to make sure I think his old bond was just a signature bond in that older case.
I believe, so I think 829 has a straight signature bond, 900 has the signature bond with pretrial services, and then of course nothing's been said in 915.
Okay. So I'm not asking for anything to be forfeited. I think I would just ask for $500 to be imposed in each case. I think in this newest case, Mr. Thomas is inebriated. I think he's actually suicidal. I think he was wandering in and out of traffic, and when law enforcement makes contact with him, he was exhibiting resistive behavior, being physically resistive in law enforcement's attempt to try and take him in. I certainly see this as a problem with Mr. Thomas's substance use, certainly. And I think that's kind of reflected in the fact that I think the court recognized that when they sent him to pretrial services. But I think given the fact we're on case number 3, I think that modest amounts of cash should be imposed in each of these cases. I'll note that bench warrants were issued against Mr. Thomas on November 8, 2022 and October 3rd, 2022. And then as far as the newest case goes, I would ask that the defendant not use or possess alcohol. And if the court's going to continue the pretrial services, I would ask that we tack the pretrial services for alcohol monitoring onto the new case as well.
And Mr. Hillen, I don't know if you have access to the pretrial services violation report. So
I do not.
I never. Am I speak now?
Well, why don't we wait just a second here?
I'm presuming it was based on this incident.
It is, though there's some more information in it. Maybe I should print it for you.
Okay.
Just so you can see it. So that's being printed. We'll get you a copy of that. Mr. Helen, I'll defer to your advice on whether you want him to add something at this point.
I have no problem with Mr. Thomas wants to add something.
Okay. Mr. Thomas, yeah, if there's something you think we should consider, that's fine.
The only reason I did not get the picture, I could not find it in the city county building. I had called him. His name is Bob. He was supposed to call my phone back, but I came very disturbed in the head and was walking in and out of traffic, sir. Nobody would call me back. That's the
see.
only reason I miss pretrial services, sir. Come on, you give me a chance at that, buddy.
And I want to make sure I heard you. I think you said you went to the city county building and couldn't
I
find
did,
it.
sir. They sent me to
Right.
the second floor, the third floor. I found out it was the fifth floor, sir, later on in the day.
Yeah, and it's actually over at the Dane County Courthouse, so a slightly different building. Yep.
That's what confused me, sir. But now I know where it is. At least give me one more strike at that, sir. Come on.
All right, well, let's give Mr. Helland a chance to look over this report so he can make any arguments for you too.
Well, clearly there's a mental illness aspect along with the substance abuse aspect in these things. And at least as it relates to the recent case, sometimes the mental health side of police enforcement would take control instead of just charging everything with a crime. I think that the whole scenario here is that he hasn't really had an opportunity to participate in pretrial services. I see that he was in detox, was taken to the local hospital by the CARES team for further evaluation. And it sounds as though that they're trying to get him services or they're trying to get him help, and he hasn't been able to do that. So he doesn't miss court. And what I think would be a reasonable way of handling this is to, now he knows where to go for the pretrial services. Just wait. And to give him the chance to really participate in whatever, requirements that they're going to have for that. He got a signature bond in his other cases. I think he should get a signature bond in this case and give him a chance to participate in the pretrial services. As everyone acknowledges or should acknowledge, this is more of a suicidal type of, or just reckless to hurt himself behavior, not anyone else. And then when the police arrested him, he was obviously in an agitated state, and that's usually doesn't go well when that happens. Has nothing to do with him missing his court dates.
And Mr. Valerio, is there anything you wanted to add?
I agree with Attorney Helen that we're looking at ultimately someone who ultimately just needs help with their alcoholism. So I think no matter what we do, we should really refer Mr. Thomas to pretrial services. I do think there should be some cash on the line. I feel like he would be given information to know exactly where it is in the first place. I want him to actually go to pretrial services and get hooked up to the monitoring. Or maybe we can say, I don't know if there's no GPS requirement, right? So it's not like we can keep him in custody until pretrial services makes contact with him, right?
There's not a GPS order in any of the cases.
I don't know if we can just keep him in custody until someone from pretrial services tomorrow morning just does some intake with him. I mean, if we can do that, then fine, let's do signature bonds. But I think there should be something on the line to make sure he comes to court from now on and to actually go to pretrial services. And I think that means just a little bit of cash if we don't do that.
So the report that I shared with Mr. Helland is one that was filed on May 1st. As I look at the court record in case 900, I now see an informational report from April 30th where the pretrial services worker indicates that he received a call from a SOAR case manager indicating that Mr. Thomas was at detox, that the worker was able to speak with Mr. Thomas at detox, who reported the issue that he described here about having trouble finding pretrial services. But I share that information just because I think there's at least some support or an extemporaneous, maybe contemporaneous is the best word, report by Mr. Thomas of the difficulties that he described here today. It lends some credibility to what he's saying about that. Give me just a second to look here at the court record a little bit better. Then there's also an instance where on 4/26, there was a violation report for him having not reported to pretrial services. Oh, no, I'm wrong. I misread that.
429 maybe?
429, but the release was on 426. I suppose this all straddled a weekend or
Right.
something. Okay. Let's see. Well, I think you're all right to some extent. I mean, or maybe to a large extent. I don't see these as cases that ultimately would likely resolve with substantial incarceration. I think they're likely to be cases that resolve with some kind of a community-based disposition and hopefully a treatment-based one, given that there are some very apparent mental health and alcohol-related needs. Part of my job in setting bail, though, is to get everybody to that point and to get them to the court dates. If there's going to be resources provided, get them to the resources, and in the meantime, avoid further problems. We started this with a case 829 that's relatively recent. It was filed only on April 18th. He was charged with a couple of offenses where the behaviors alleged physical resisting in a not insubstantial way at detox. That complaint has a repeater allegation based on prior convictions for violating a restraining order and resisting or obstructing an officer, each of which are in their own respect somewhat concerning in terms of a likelihood of appearance. He was given the benefit of a signature bond and within very short order by April 24th is back in custody, making threats of self-harm, claiming to be armed and impaired by alcohol. I think we're all probably sympathetic to that fact situation and would have, and certainly Commissioner Osmus was, to the extent that he allowed release on a signature bond with pretrial services in the hopes that there's alcohol monitoring. Then he doesn't report to pretrial services, and we've talked a little bit about why that is. He winds up at detox. He ultimately, as I understand this, is discharged from detox, but then is picked up on April 30th, allegedly drunk, making suicidal comments and physically resisting law enforcement.
Allegedly drunk.
I don't see a great alternative to setting some cash bail at this point. I just don't think we can continue to do the same things that we've tried before with really zero success. I question whether there's a lot that pretrial services can add to this if Mr. Thomas doesn't get there, either because of continued mental health problems, continued alcohol problems, or I suppose being lost. If he makes it, I suppose they can do the monitoring that's intended to try to maybe provide resources. I think that's worth giving a shot to. At this point, I'm setting $300 cash bail on each of these two misdemeanor cases that are in front of us. I'll order no alcohol conditions in each. I'm doing that not to set Mr. Thomas up, but so that we have something that can be actively monitored by pretrial services. They will use active alcohol monitoring to make sure there's compliance with that. I'm also doing it because it's really the only thing I see here as a recipe for success. I think if he continues to drink, this just isn't going to go well. It's only going to continue to devolve. Mr. Thomas, I hope things improve for you. It sounds like you have some people out there that are working with you and trying to give you help. I hope that is successful, but I just can't outright release you on a signature bond at this point. Take care, Mr. Thomas.
So he needs to also call the public defender's office to see if he qualifies for this case also. So Mr. Thomas, they're going to give you information from the public defender's office. Give us a call as soon as you can, all right?
Take care now.
Next up will be Chairman Mace.
Mr. Thomas heard $300 and that was it. That was enough for him. He was done. There was a couple in his court today where they just decided not to participate, but they set up the speakers just like that so the judge could talk to him, but they just didn't participate. That's Wisconsin. All right. I think that we should go back to Georgia. I think we decompressed enough that we're ready for round two. Here we go.
All right,
This is Carson Matthews. It's down for a bond reconsideration. I gave it to him.
all right, he's got a bond,
No, Your Honor, it was denied.
okay.
Or actually, maybe he had a bond, but we were trying to get it modified at one point.
He's charged with theft by taking a motor vehicle, possession of crystallized subject they could suspect to be meth, marijuana. You got a bond, it says here, of 8,000 property, 4,000 cash.
Maybe we were trying to get that converted at one point. So the history that I show is that in January of 2024, Mr. Matthews was at the CFC and left and was eventually arrested in Montgomery County. We brought him back to court in January, asking the court to consider an OR conditional bond to the Wise Place. And on January 23rd, the case was continued to February the 15th because I believe the court was requesting that we get the medical records of the defendant. We requested the medical records, but they sent them to an address that does not exist for the public defender's office. Ms. Sherling reached back out to them, and they assured her that they were sending us the medical records. But when we came here on February the 15th, you denied the OR conditional bond. And I believe you said that since the grand jury was coming back in March, that you would reconsider it if he did not get indicted by the grand jury. And unless those were returned in open court earlier, he was not indicted or was not presented to the grand jury. Ms. Wilson's shaking her head
Was
no.
it presented to the grand jury?
He was not, Your Honor. The drugs were still unassigned at the lab.
So we're back again asking for an OR conditional bond. Ms. Sherling verified with the Wise Place yesterday that they do still have a bed space available. They would just have to coordinate transportation to the Wise Place.
And where is it?
Metter. And we still do not have the medical records because when we called about them again, they sent them to 150 Main Street, which I'm assuming they thought was our Swainsboro address, even though our Swainsboro address is 120 Main Street. And even though we gave them the address to the office in Lyons to send them to Lyons, they sent them to the wrong address in Swainsboro. And because we're an attorney's office, they would not email or fax us the records. They have to put them in the mail. And I don't know if and when I will ever get them, but since he was not indicted by the grand jury, we're asking the court to reconsider the OR conditional bond again to the Wise Place.
Your Honor, being as he was allowed to go to CFC and he left CFC, the state is still opposed to him going to another inpatient rehab for him to leave again. And we certainly feel that a $4,000, $8,000 bond is.
Well, that's another curiosity. There's an 8,000, 4,000 bond signed by the magistrate in June of 23. Then somebody apparently brought the matter to Superior Court. Judge Johnson was filling in for me in September of 2023. He made it a $15,000, $30,000 bond.
And I don't have a note of why he did that.
If memory serves me correctly, we were talking about an OR conditional at that time, and the defendant made statements that he didn't have a drug problem. And I believe at that point, the judge increased the bond amount at that time. I'm almost positive this was the individual.
Well, the crazy.
Is that?
And then somewhere along the way, did he actually go to CFC?
He did.
When was that?
That was in sometime in December, January of 2023, 2024, because he left there and was arrested on, he was arrested on November the 19th of 2023 in Montgomery County after he had left
So why should
the
he get-
CFC.
So why should we, I mean, I don't get the point.
He can't afford the cash property bond, Your Honor, and he's just asked the court to reconsider and let him go back to another facility.
But he went to a facility and he just
did.
left.
Yes, sir.
That motion is denied.
Just like that. Just like that. No discussion, nothing from the prosecutor. He had his chance and he didn't go. He just left. Motion denied. Done. I love that. Okay. Now, we're going back to Wisconsin. However, before we go to Wisconsin, I'm going to tell you two things. First off, she definitely has a shirt on underneath her shirt. Don't worry. She's a shirt on under her shirt. Number two, she can bend her finger, and she does a couple times. There. Now you don't have to keep wondering and worrying. Those things are covered. Here we go.
Works for me if it works for the clerk. All right, let's call the cases of the state versus Sharon Franklin. Their cases 23 CM 567 and 23 CM 1759. May we have appearances, please?
The state appears by Assistant District Attorney Thomas Valerio. I appear in person.
Ms. Franklin appears in custody from the Dane County Jail via Zoom. John Helen, on behalf of the Public Defender's Office, appears.
Where she turned herself in.
Yeah, just wait.
Yep.
We've received a copy of the criminal complaint and we'll waive its reading. Ms. Franklin, is the 503 Beacon?
Sir, no, that's my address, and if I don't get home and pay my rent, I'm not gonna have.
Ms. Franklin, I just need a good mailing address for you right now.
That's my address. That's
Okay.
my renting address. I
Okay,
rent there.
okay, thank you. So 503 North is Ms. Franklin's address. And as she indicated to the court, it looks as though she turned herself in.
All right, well, I appreciate the address update. We'll get that on file.
Phone number.
And so we are here in return of a couple of bench warrants. It looks like the most recent failures to appear were for a February 7th hearing. It's in front of Judge Highland in each case.
My attorney didn't let me know I had court until the day after court. Then he called me and told me I missed court.
Okay,
I had been calling the public defenders.
I think the deputy may have muted her. I can no longer hear her comments. But in any event, let's set some of the stage here, and then we certainly can hear more from everybody. So there was a February 7th missed status conference in each case. It looks like following that, and I think this is maybe consistent with what she was describing, there was a motion to quash warrant filed by Mr. Burris, B-U-R-R-I-S, on her behalf. That was scheduled for a February 22nd status conference in front of the judge, and there wasn't an appearance at that, so the warrant remained out. Does look like some cash bails were forfeited at that time. Obviously, we've heard some information from Ms. Franklin about what's happened more recently. Maybe I'll turn to you next, Mr. Valerio.
Just 1 second. I think it was only the cash in 1759 that was forfeited. Is that what Your Honor is saying as well?
Yeah, you're right. There was a signature bond in case 567, 1759 had the cash.
Okay, and I think right, got it. And I think in the 1759 case, I think the old bond was, I think it was like $250.
Correct.
Okay. All right. So Here's what I'll say. Ms. Franklin does have a history of warrants being issued against her. The most recent one, of course, was February 7th, 2024. Before that is May 12th, 2023, then June 18th, 2021, October 8th, 2020, and then February 4th, 2020. She was in warrant status this most recent time for over 2 months. It looks like she turned herself in on April 30th, 2024. So look, normally I think these are both misdemeanor cases. I don't think they warrant an inordinate or shocking amount of cash bail, but even though Ms. Franklin turned herself in, I still think that given this warrant history, I think we should impose at least a modest amount of cash in each case. Normally with this history, given the lower severity of these cases, I would typically say, okay, 500 on each case, let's leave the cash forfeited. But I think because Ms. Franklin turned herself in, I think my recommendation is $300 on each case. The total is $600. I think that's a fair amount, and I think that's appropriate given the failure to appear history.
Well, Mr. Helland, I should turn it over to you next.
Well, I think if she was arrested, that's probably what the bail should be, but if she turns herself in, I don't think there should be any additional bail. That's what we want people to do. We encourage people to do. We reward them for doing that. And that's what she did. If you look at the complaints, different addresses for each one, and now she has the Northport address. So there's some kind of indication that I believe that maybe she didn't get some of these notices, and I would encourage her to do the text messaging from the court for her court dates because there have been some problems. My notes indicate she works at community action centers. Yeah, she hasn't. This is not a new arrest. She hasn't had any new arrests since then. I just think it's simply unnecessary to have her sit in jail on cash bail when she turns herself in. She obviously has to deal with these issues and getting her, she's eligible for a public defender, so I'm not sure if Attorney Burris would be her attorney. She might get someone on. I don't know the answer to that, but someone who turns himself in should be rewarded.
Sure. And maybe we can get her unmuted again. I guess I want to find out more about how that went down. Deputy Tillison, if you could unmute Ms. Franklin. There we go. So, Ms. Franklin, tell me more about this. How did this go down that you wound up turning yourself in?
I just got tired. I finally got a home. And didn't have to sleep with people and give my body away to have a warm place to lay my head. And I worked with my case manager, Lindsay Kramer from Community Action Coalition. I've been clean from crack cocaine. I'm doing really good. I have my own apartment, but I'm not going to have it if I stay in here. And I don't have no one that can put up cash bail for me. Okay.
So did you walk down here to the jail, or how did you get that sorted out?
I had the police called and I turned myself in, sir.
So they came out to your house or whatever?
Yes, sir. Okay.
I appreciate that information and I appreciate you doing it. I think that, I think that makes a heck of a lot of difference in how we ought to deal with this.
I just want to go home and pay my rent, but I don't have a home again.
So I think it's probably appropriate to figure out some method of allowing her to be released at this point. What I'm trying to sort out is whether it makes sense to do something with the previously forfeited bail, and I'm a little concerned about doing that just given the length of time that's passed, or whether to simply just send a signature bond at that point and let any of the prior bails be dealt with by separate process if necessary. Counsel, I don't know if either of you have a thought about that.
I don't, Commissioner, I'll defer to you.
Okay. All right. I think under the circumstances, I'll just set signature bonds in each case. I'll continue the previously imposed conditions. That's a little bit of an unusual result given the prior cash bail in one case, but I think Ms. Franklin turning herself in actually in some respects shows maybe less of a bail risk than what it might have looked like when those bails were originally set. So I appreciate her taking that action, and she's getting the benefit of that in the decision that gets made here today.
And Ms. Franklin, the bailiff can give you the number for the public defender's office. So I really encourage you to contact our office as soon as possible to make sure that you have an attorney that's helping you with all that, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, Ms. Franklin, I did hear what you were describing about how things have gone for you recently. It sounds like some of it's really starting to look up, and I respect that.
It's starting to look up, sir.
Okay.
My addiction recovery is doing good. I have housing, but with this signature bond, I'll be able to go and pay my rent so that I'm not homeless again.
All right. Well, I think we're all cheering for you. I hope it works out.
Thank you for the signature bond.
Nope. Good luck to you. Bye-bye.
Next up will be Angel Moreno.
Go ahead.
That was very heartwarming. Very. In case you didn't know how to feel after you saw that, it was very heartwarming. All right. It's time to go to Texas, guys. It's time to go to Texas. Man, every time I say that, I want a steak. All right.
And then
This is where we left off yesterday.
Mr. Nichols, Your Honor.
okay.
For a waiver.
Good morning, Ms. Nichols.
Good morning.
You speak. Okay, that was. Ma'am, you're wanted out of the state of Louisiana for operating a vehicle while intoxicated, hit and run driving, careless operation of a motor vehicle, and possession of an alcohol beverage in a motor vehicle. Are you waiting for an electrocution, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thanks, ma'am. Wish you the best of luck. Thank you. Mr. Gonzalez, how's jail? Let's go through what you're going through. Talk about this. So, 2017 felony assault. That one looks like you got 2 years in TDC. Another felony assault, that one gets dismissed. Failure to identify oneself, disposed of. Now you've picked up a felony possession of a controlled substance, injury to an elderly. While you're out on bond, you picked up a VPO with us, and now you've picked up another failure to identify oneself as a fugitive from justice. The reason I wanted to bring you out today is because some magistrate thought it was fit to give you a PR bond on your violation of a protective order and on your failure to ID. I say nay, nay. You are a danger to the public, my friend. And I don't think I can justify giving you a PR bond when you have 2 open felony cases, sir. That's why I brought you out here, to give you a heads up that a PR bond is probably not a good idea. Do you understand, sir? I don't know what's going to happen upstairs in your felony case. It looks like you guys are set, oh my goodness, in July. So I cannot in any kind of good conscience allow you to have a PR bond when you have all those felony cases open. So now what I'm going to do is, and I don't know if you're going to be able to post bond on all these cases, but if you do, I'm going to order you under home confinement as well, and not have any contact with the complaining witnesses, and no drugs, no alcohol. But for purposes of our cases, I'm revoking those PR bonds. Do you understand, sir? Do you have any questions? Okay. If you have any questions, Ricardo, we've appointed to represent you. You can always answer your questions. And then, I don't know, I don't want to set it out all the way out to July. I think that's just too far. So let's just set it out 30 days and then we'll see where it takes us. And if nothing happens with the felony court by then, we'll just do it another 30 days from there.
Judge, as far as a bond amount is concerned, would you?
No. Yeah, I mean, they're both. So the violation of protective order is set at 20,003, and then the failure to identify is set at 5,000. I'm not gonna touch him. I'm gonna yank the PR bonds because it should know.
Even with the curfew and with the GPS, you wouldn't consider lowering those? No.
No, I think that you're just a danger to the community, Mr. Gonzalez, and you've shown time and again that you are a flight risk and that you refuse to comply with bond conditions. And as a result, we have to, I want to do everything in my power to protect the streets of Harris County. And you've shown us time and again that you're just gonna.
All right, Judge, thank you.
Yeah, thanks. I know, but I want to know for what. I know he's going to test positive. I have a problem with that. Yep, I want to make sure. I want to see what else he's going to test positive for. Okay, thanks. You've been given a new offer. Today was your day to either plea or set for trial, sir. I will, as a courtesy to Mark, give you a week to finish the classes. You will get no more time. Do you understand? If you don't have it done, all bets off, you get an immediate trial set. Do you understand? 1 week. Hey, so on Young, it's now, but an AMC and a DMC for an Ollie. Okay, that way, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
Thanks, Mark. Hi, Anna. Come on in. Of course. Okay, tell me.
I'm here off docket on Mr. David Nguyen and the cause number.
On Nguyen?
Yes.
I know who it is.
Okay, there's the cause number if the state needs it. I've spoken with the people at the Harris Health Center. If you'll recall, he's doing the mental health PTI. We're just having difficulty getting him assigned a caseworker. I've spoken with them. They said that he is in their process to be assigned. It's just their internal process they go through. We have not been assigned one yet. The last time he had court, you signed an order to have him evaluated for competency. That has still not been scheduled.
So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to subpoena Deuces, take them, everyone from the Harris Center to come here in a week to explain to me why we can't get this done where we can do it with everybody else. It's unacceptable that it's now 200.
Okay, he's doing what he's supposed to. It's just I can't.
I'm sick of it, and they're dropping the ball here. They just don't care, and I'm tired of it. So I'm going to subpoena everybody from them to come here and explain why they can't get this thing done.
Okay, and just from my own knowledge that I received, the order for the competency eval that you signed last time, that's to see if he's competent to stand trial. Not this. It's a more in-depth assessment than. You
already know the answer to that question. So
okay, is
it moot?
Okay, well, it's just
What are you doing?
the competency evaluation. You asked me to put a motion in the order because one of Mr. Mounier's clients did that and got an appointment faster. For an evaluation, and the evaluation.
End game. What are we trying to do?
My position in the States is that Mr. Nguyen has something going on that led to this criminal trespass. He is receiving counseling in Louisiana. We just want to be sure that he's receiving all the help and services that he needs so that way he doesn't come back here. But the difference in the two evaluations is the competency evaluation is with a doctor to see if he's competent to stand trial. The mental health PTI is with a counselor to help him more address the immediate needs of.
Val, I need you to do me a favor, please. So we have Anna's case, David Nguyen. He's doing a mental health PTI. The only thing that needed to happen for his case to get dismissed was to get an evaluation done at the Harris Center. For some reason, we've been going round and round, month after month after month, and they are incapable of making him an appointment to get the assessment done. I mean, we've literally given court orders, we've called over there, and it's just not happening. So My next step, I think, is we should subpoena Deuce's Tecum them to figure and to answer why we can't get an appointment done and why we can't.
an appointment with her right now.
Can we do it that way?
Yeah, I'll make the appointment.
Well,
Today.
see
Okay.
if you can get that done, if you can.
Okay.
Yeah, as quick as we can.
Yeah, I'll try to get it today.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Judge. Okay.
For sure. Okay. Hi, Lori.
Real quick, a real quick shout out. I want to thank Jana Miller, Janelle McCain, Kimberly Binder, and Brandy Lambeth. Thank you so much for joining the Patreon. I really appreciate it. All right, back to Fleischer.
Staying around
Okay, what are we doing with Mr. Mireles?
a 2-year, I think deferred with T-RAS. What the conditions on T-RAS?
Okay, he's not done, he's already done the TRAS,
Yes, it's right here.
So we have, and what are the conditions?
The conditions are, mental health, caseload.
This on the theft and criminal trespass.
Yeah, on the theft, the criminal trespass, y'all are dismissing.
I just want to make sure. I
So
got
does
you.
this mean he's just gonna get out today? Is that what it means? He's not gonna do anything.
Yes, I will.
I don't believe you, Mr. Mireles.
I promise. I mean, if I revoke, then I mean, I have to have you back. I have no choice. This is like get it together or not, and I'm going to get it together. I promise. I promise. Because I can't come back here and I can't keep doing this anymore.
How many times have you told this to me, Mr. Mireles?
I'm not sure, but I can't do this. I can't be homeless anymore either. I have one goal in mind, and that's to complete this. Because if I don't, then I'm in here. I have no choice with this. This makes me pretty much have to get everything together. With that,
Mireles,
I prefer that way. I can
how
go
many
to class.
times have you told this to me?
To be honest with you, a couple times. I'm not sure, but this will help me get housing. Plus, I've already spoken to Miss Carolina. She works here at the medical, and she told me to come to the Montrose Center, and she'll get me help with the housing and the job. That way, I can get off the streets. I don't have to steal to get by. I don't live like this anymore.
And you know, I would, under normal circumstances, believe you. But because you've picked up 30 cases within the last 2 years, and you've told me.
I don't have to 30
Okay,
cases.
let's go through it. Assault, possession of a controlled substance, burglary of a motor vehicle, resisting arrest, theft of service, criminal trespass, interference with the duties of a public servant, criminal trespass. In all of these cases, not only did you pick this up, but you have never, ever appeared to court on your own cognition. Never once have you ever appeared.
I promise.
So hold on, we're not done yet. Possession of a controlled substance, that was 10 so far. Possession of a controlled substance, possession of a controlled substance, evading arrest, possession of a controlled substance, robbery, possession of a controlled substance. Criminal trespass, criminal trespass, criminal trespass, theft, criminal trespass. We're now 25. And in every single case, you have never once appeared on your own. Not once in the 25 cases that you've had with me in the last 2 years.
I've just been homeless, and to be honest with you, I didn't have very good transportation to get here. But my father has also told me that 3 days before, if I get probation, he'll pick me up and he'll have me stay at his house 3 days before probation to ensure that I get to probation or any class I need to take to.
You're telling me that you've talked to your father about this?
Don't lie.
What is his phone number?
I put it down on my paperwork.
Give it to the judge.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call him right now. What is his phone number?
Number? Oh, 281-541-0464.
0467?
0464. I asked him about probation.
541.
Repeat the number for the judge one more time.
541
541-0464.
0464.
Yes, sir.
What is his name?
Anthony Morales.
Anthony Morales?
Yes, yes, sir.
Is it Mireles or Morales?
Hello, this is Anthony.
Anthony.
Yes.
Hi. My name is David Fleischer, and I'm a judge here in Harris County.
Yes, sir.
And I have in front of me Dane Mireles.
Yes, that's my son.
Do you know this person?
Yes, sir. He's my son.
When's the last time you talked to him?
About, let's see, this, about in March, maybe the first week of April. He only calls me when he needs some money, and I usually meet up with him.
Have you talked to him about what's going on recently?
No, I haven't. I know that he gets arrested because he does theft, and I keep telling me he can't do that. And the problem with him, with my son, is that he went through some, I guess compared to PTSD, but he doesn't want to get medical help. He doesn't want to go into a hospital, doesn't want to go in to talk to somebody to get rid of whatever is bugging him. What happened to him about 3-4 years ago, he was staying at a boarding house, and then the owner of the boarding house had some troubles or whatever, and he left that house, and Dane took care of it for several years. And but long story short, nobody was paying the taxes on it, and the county or the city, they went with the tax thing and took the house away from him. And from since then, I think he had a mental breakdown, and from then he just went spiraled down, but he never wanted to get any help mentally. As his dad, I feel that he needs to be committed and get himself on medicine and get taken care of. I love my son very much, and I try to help him, but he just doesn't want to help himself.
And so let me just give you a brief rundown. I have been with Mr. Mireles probably since 2020.
Yes.
And in that time, he's picked up 25 different cases.
Yes, I know.
And he has never once appeared to court, ever. And, for the last couple years, all we did was just plead guilty, get out, plead guilty, get out, plead guilty, get out.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him this last time when I first saw him in April of this year, because he picked up another. So he was on bond for a theft, and he picked up now a criminal trespass in the beginning of April. And I told him I was done. I'm not doing this anymore. We have to figure a way to stop this cycle from happening. And I'm at a loss of just how to do it. And I'm done. I will not let you plead guilty again. And so now we've worked an agreement to where he is going to get on the mental health caseload. However, one of the conditions is that he goes and meets with a person, right, Lori? Is that?
Yeah, a mental health provider in the community.
The problem is that I know if I let him out, he's not going to go.
Yes, and I agree with you 100%. He's not going to go.
So the only way that I'm going to do this, Lori, is that we release him to the actual Harris Center and someone picks him up.
Is there any way to
How
ask?
we've done it before where we have someone actually release him. That's the only way I'm going to do this. I'm not releasing you on your own because I know you're not going to do it.
Okay.
Mr. Mireles, the only way is if you were released into the actual care of someone from the Harris Center. You're not going to do it.
We figure out how to do that.
So we've done it before and we will do it, but I'm gonna tell you now. I'm done.
Is there any possible way to see to ask my father right now if he'll help me get to my, if he can ensure that no matter what, I get picked up and taken?
If the minute you get out of jail, you're gonna ghost us.
No,
No matter if you have Jesus out there waiting for you.
I swear I wouldn't, because I do want this off my record. That's why it's been as a deferred. That way I can get off my record. I would do anything. And if my father could help, like if he would agree to help me get a ride there every time to be there where I need to be, there would be no doubt that I would, because my father would know where to pick me up. And even like the day before, they might let me stay there. Is there any way to possibly ask my father if he could help with that?
Mr. Anthony, you know, like, the only way I'm going to do it, and like I told Lori, I know her well. She's the lawyer that I've appointed to Mr. Mireles here, that we're going to try to work it to where he's released to the actual custody of the Harris Center, which is a mental health rehabilitation center, to try to get and work through these issues. And I'm sorry, Lori, I know that you're frustrated. You know.
I'm just
Yeah, tell me.
Yes, if I agree with you. If Dane is not going to do, his sister who lives in Dallas, when this happened, I guess he wants to try to go up there and stay with her for a couple of, well, he didn't in the last 2 months up there. She took him in, was going to take him in her house, and all she asked was that he get him a little job. He never did get him a job, and he was running around all over there. So finally, she just brought him back to Dad, I can't take care of him. He just doesn't want to. He doesn't want to accept that he needs help. And I agree 100% with you. If you put him out on the street, he'll be calling me tomorrow.
I had to leave her house.
And I'll go take it to him, and I'll talk to him, and he'll promise me everything. But he never does, because he doesn't call me in, and so he can't go out and steal or do whatever, and he really needs. I used to give him a lot of money, but now I'm giving him $25. Because I can't trust him. He's to the point that he doesn't want to go get help. He doesn't want to help anybody's help. So my wife and I both agree something has to happen, and putting him in a place that he has to stay there until he gets on medicine, gets be able to take himself and begin to take care of himself, then he's welcome to come back home until he gets back on his feet. But, you know, right now we can't, because he's afraid he's going to steal from us. I'm 80 years old. My wife is going to retire next year. I can't take that burden if he doesn't want to help himself. I love him to death. But I can't.
It's okay. Look, you and I are on the same team, and
yes, sir.
You know, I'm in court number 5, so you can always try to reach out to me if you ever need anything. Okay. We're not going to go through with this today, because I want to make sure that you're put in the hands of someone, not yourself. So
I promise. I can promise you.
This way and that way are your promises. Whoop, whoop,
But
whoop, whoop.
can I still get this deferred? Like,
Stop.
Yes. Yes.
Now, but
Yes, absolutely.
you need to be quiet.
Mr. Mireles,
as well.
Dane, I want to help you. I do. But leaving it to yourself is not going to work. You know what I mean? It just,
I would make it. I have no choice.
yeah. You've fooled me once, shame on you. Fool me 25 times, shame on me. Okay, thanks. Mr. Mireles, can I give you my phone number? If you need anything.
Let me step back over here and get my.
Got it. Okay. Mr. D, you ready? Yeah.
I cut his phone number
Just found
out.
out that my client is not a citizen of the United States, Judge. Which means that if he goes back to Mexico, you're honest.
I'm going to set it for a hearing. Right. So let's set it for a week, you know, and then in a week, come up.
He decides that he would want to take this plea without, I will put it on the record that, you know, that he chose to do it. With the understanding that he couldn't be.
You're already on probation now. The allegation is multiple, that you have violated your probation by, number one, picking up a felony assault. Number two, consuming marijuana. Number three, consuming alcohol. I'm gonna set your case for a hearing in a week. If they prove to me that it is true, you are facing an entire year. You understand? So whether he talks to an immigration lawyer or not, I don't know what kind of impact that will have because he is already on probation now. You know?
Let me talk to him, Judge, and let him do that 90 days might be better than a year. And he needs to make that decision. And if he does make that decision,
it's okay, Mr. D, I don't want you to do anything, you know, in a coercive way. You need to figure out what you're gonna do. You have 1 week. Come back in a week. We will have a hearing. Shatoria, do you mind reaching out to the probation officer and whoever may be so that we can have this hearing in a week, please? So it will be exactly next Wednesday. Next Wednesday, we will have a hearing if it's to whether I'm going to revoke your probation and you're looking at a year. Get yourself.
Judge, with all due respect, Your Honor, if there's going to be a hearing, I would respectfully request the Honorable Court to provide me the opportunity to get the proper discovery, to subpoena the file from the.
We'll get the file. Can you get the file for the region and bring it? Can you get it before?
I don't know if I can get it within a week, but I'll do my best to expedite it.
Okay. Judge, what if we set it for a week to get the discovery and then set it for a hearing at that point? Just for discovery compliance.
Okay. All right. But I don't want this to, I don't want to drag it out, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as soon as I get the information, I'll let everybody know.
Okay. So after that though, after you get the discovery, I'm only going to do a couple of days. I'm not doing. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Arbitrary objection. Thank you so much for the donation on my Patreon. I appreciate it.
Can you force DDRP?
Honestly, I talked to the assessor. There's no background information. He has to admit it's something to them, and he's not doing it.
What about if we get it from Dad? I've got Dad's phone number.
I can see if that'll work. I'll reach out to them and see if
But, you know?
I'll see y'all.
Mr. Coronado, how's jail?
I get claustrophobic, man, and I want to go home. I get scared of just the walls by themselves, man. And people hit me in jail. I guess they think I look weak or something, man. I look too nice or something.
No, it's not. You're not going to the Bahamas.
Go home, man.
The problem is, though, is that if we let you out, are you a danger to the public? Well, I know you're going to tell me it's little bunnies jumping in the woods. But what matters is what's on paper. Because you tell me one thing, paper tells me something different. So I don't know anything about your case now. All I know, and what's weird to me, is that you're in front of me, you've got a $200 bond that you've not made, and you didn't get a PR bond. Well, let's see, hold on. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present during questions and interviews. If you cannot afford a lawyer will be appointed to represent you. We're going to do probable cause because I just want to know what happened. I don't know. So please. Oh, you're charged with harassing communication. So you're facing up to 6 months in jail and or $2,000 fine. Okay.
On April 28, 2024, officer dispatched to a suspicious person call located at Harris County, Texas. Complainant stated that the defendant approached her while she was sitting in her car. Defendant asked her for money. The plaintiff gave the defendant food instead. The defendant took the food and then returned a few minutes later and stated, "Can I ask you one more question?" The defendant then asked, "Can I fuck your daughter?" who was 13. The complainant then asked the defendant to leave them alone, to which he shouted, "I've raped boys and girls younger than her before." Witness heard the second
I
statement.
raped? Who, me? She's saying I
It's alleged-
I just want to hear.
It's alleged that he shouted, "I've raped boys and girls younger than her before," and there was a witness that heard the second statement.
So he didn't hear that part.
Hold on. Hold on.
So when
It says here, let me just read this to you. Let me just read this to you real quick. This is what the magistrate said. I make a finding by clear and convincing evidence that no other condition or combination of conditions is adequate to reasonably assure public safety or to reasonably protect against flight from prosecution. There are no less restrictive or non-financial conditions that this court can impose to ensure community safety. Due to the nature of the allegations, the court has a concern for community safety. Defendant made an admission in court that he was intoxicated during the incident. First off, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case.
I was on 2-4 locals.
That doesn't make me feel better, Mr. Coronado. Not only that, you have 3 weeks ago, a felony retaliation that was dismissed, a harassment of a public servant that you pled guilty on, not to mention a whole host of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 other priors. Mr. Coronado, you scare me. And my fear is that if I give you a PR bond, whoosh, you're gonna go. Where do you live?
Prested in Tidwell Street. No, my mom lives there with me.
I am not letting you go to the street because I think you'll take flight and you won't come back.
I'm gonna tell my mom to write some pages when I get home.
The only way is if I talk to her myself and I know that she's gonna take you and we have a reasonable assurance of public safety. At this point in time, I'm just not convinced. Because the allegations are pretty bad, Mr. Coronado. I don't think so.
Two things, public safety, that could be ensured by providing some conditions to ensure that the public is safe. He's got a place to go. His mother used the place where he's gonna go. We could impose a curfew, we could impose GPS restrictions. I don't believe other least restrictive means have been imposed or tried yet. He hasn't.
I agree with you on that nothing has been tried yet. But the allegations really, really concern me. And to me, before I even were to let you out, I want to know that you have a place to go to. And I want to talk to this person myself. Meaning that I want to know and I want to hear from her that she would take him and that he's got a place to go to.
The issue with that would be, Judge, he doesn't know the phone number, so it would take me a couple of days
It's a new phone.
It's okay.
to
You've
figure it
got
out.
time.
It's a new phone.
Judge,
I'm not letting you out on the street, Mr. Coronado.
Somebody else.
We're not gonna do 6 months. I'll set it to Monday.
I was just walking by going home and the lady said,
Stop. Everything that you say they're using against you, Mr. Coronado. Okay,
All right, thank you. Judge.
Thanks.
I'll continue to make the argument.
please.
I have to do time for this.
Hey, Mr. Stryker, tell me.
Approaching on the case on Alvin Morgan, judge on the docket today. I was just appointed on Friday and he just bonded out and came back. So they just
Morgan.
Coordinator said to approach you. This is a case where I just got appointed on Friday because he was, I guess he had a previous attorney, then a previous attorney.
Yes, it's 730 days old. So come up, Mr. Morgan.
Yikes, the judge doesn't like 700-day-old cases.
Tell me you have everything on Mr. Morgan's case, please, for the love of Pete. And do you have a Texas driver license?
So she's already signed it. You actually filled out already the no driving affidavit last week, Judge. He actually went into custody last week. He showed up for court. You have put him into custody. He just got out, Judge. And we had sent him today just in case he didn't get out, for example.
Right.
But you had already filled out and you already signed the no driving affidavit, Judge.
There's no driving affidavit. 2405 770.
You signed it back there.
Yeah, I got it.
You actually filled it. I think you got it right by your.
I don't see it.
Sometimes it looks good. It depends on what they
You don't have a license, do you?
You got cut.
It's just a yes or no.
No, sir.
Do not drive.
Yes, Judge.
I'm going to tell you now, Mr. Morgan, that I don't think anything makes me more upset than when someone drives without a license. I'm also ordering you to obtain a handheld interlock device that you're going to take with you everywhere you go to prove to me you're not consuming alcohol. It's a DWI second. We do this on every second. Not only that, your case is 730 days old. I will give you 2 weeks to go through the evidence with Mr. Stryker to figure out what you guys want to do.
Yes,
At that time, you must come back and tell us whether you want to accept a plea bargain agreement. Otherwise, we will set your case for trial.
Yes,
You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Pavel, do you have everything or no?
Yes, Judge. I believe we do. I need to double check the photos because everything's kind of in the physical file since it's sold. So I'll check and make sure the only thing I don't know is the photos, but we have everything else.
Okay. It's your responsibility to get with Mr. Stryker to review the evidence. Okay. You have 3 days to get the device.
Yes, Your Honor.
No consumption of alcohol from any source.
Yes,
You understand? No mouthwash, tequila lollipops, hair dye. I've heard it all.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Stryker.
Judge.
You will meet with Keith for your supervision conditions, sir. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm going to have you sign an affidavit. If we don't have you'll sign now an affidavit promising us you're not going to drive whatsoever.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Morgan.
They're gonna make you a copy of the videos before, I mean, I always have to get a copy of the first judge, maybe 3 weeks at least, so.
Okay.
I have to get the-
No more of that.
It's not on the.
I'll give you the 3 weeks. It's okay. But that's it. Okay. We will see you here in 3 weeks, sir.
Yes, you will, Your Honor.
Okay.
All right, I am super shocked he just gave that attorney 3 weeks. 3 weeks on a 700-day-old case. In Judge Manning's courtroom, it takes 700 days just to get indicted. But in this courtroom, no, absolutely not. He won't stand for it. And he just gave that attorney 3 weeks. I don't think this attorney understands how close he is. The judge took that real chill. This case is that old. He didn't do what he normally does. He rolled with it. I don't think that the attorney understands what situation he's in right now. He better get his stuff together because there's not going to be any continuance.
You signed back there.
Yeah, before it. Yes.
Okay. Come on this way, Mr. Morgan.
Solamente mira posible.
Santos Sánchez Núñez.
Sí.
You were charged of driving while intoxicated, second offense. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. You have worked out an agreement where they're offering you 30 days in jail with credit for the 34 days that you've already done. Is this what you want to do?
¿Lo que usted desea hacer? Tiene que hablar.
Sí.
Yes.
Pleading guilty to this
Míralo a él.
offense.
Usted se está declarando culpable de esta ofensa. Míralo a él.
This offense will go on your record.
Ahí sobre su expediente personal.
It'll be there for the rest of your life. Do you know what happens if you ever pick up another one?
¿Y vuelve a obtener otro caso de eso, señor?
Sí.
Yes.
What happens?
¿Qué pasa?
Pero un accidente.
¿Perdón?
Puedo causar un accidente.
I could cause an accident or worse.
Do you know what happens if you pick up another DWI?
¿Vuelve a obtener otro caso de manejo ebrio?
No, no sé.
No, I do not know.
You'll be facing a minimum of 2 years in prison, a maximum of 10 years in prison. Mr. Santos Nunez, it doesn't matter if you're drunk or not. An officer will pull you over. They will see DWI. They will see DWI. The smell alone will be enough for them to get you out of the car and charge you with a third DWI.
Tercer caso de manejo ebrio.
Doesn't matter if you're drunk or not. They're going to assume you have a tolerance.
Usted ha tomado bastante.
You understand?
¿Entendió?
Sí.
Yes.
If I were you, even if you had one beer,
Como una
I would
cerveza.
never get in a car again for the rest of your life.
Por el resto de su vida.
You were giving up the right to a trial,
Un juicio.
right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers.
Melissa, I hope you don't mind. It's just too exciting. And I don't think everybody knows. Guys, Itzel's Melissa. She works with Judge Fleischer every day. And she's here. And it's so exciting. She's with him every day. We don't know, though. Oh, hi, Kimmer. We don't know if she's ever been in lockup before. We don't know if he ever lit her up before. I just don't know. I'm saying no. I'm saying she puts him in his place. Melissa, thank you so much for coming.
If you are not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization under federal law. You give up the right to appeal. Meaning, once you accept something and you plead guilty, you can never come back and change this or undo this.
Adelante y cambiar esto lo que ocurrió aquí el día de hoy, ¿entendió?
You understand?
Tiene que hablar fuerte.
Sí.
Yes.
This is what you want to do.
Esto es lo que usted desea hacer.
Pero
But
como me quiero ir para mi país, firmar para mi
I'd like to sign and go to my country.
No entiendo qué quiere decir.
I don't understand what you're trying to say. Escúcheme a mí, señor, no a él. Yo soy el intérprete, pero contesta en español. Was that your honor?
You want to plead guilty to
¿Usted desea declararse culpable por esta ofensa?
Sí.
Yes.
How do you plead, sir?
¿Cómo se declara, señor? ¿Culpable o no culpable?
Culpable.
Guilty.
Find you guilty.
Seré culpable.
I will follow the agreement.
Seguiré el acuerdo.
I'm going to suspend your license for 2 years.
2 años.
Do not drive until you get a license.
Tengo una
Otherwise, you will be back here with another Class B misdemeanor.
Aquí.
Good luck.
Buena suerte, señor. Siga lo oficial.
Thank you, Mark. That's it. We done? Okay, bye, guys, we're done. I don't know. I'm gonna call Judge Jackson.
The only reason why I asked is because tomorrow and Friday I'm chiefing in court 6 on a trial. But there's only 11 tomorrow, so I'm hoping to get mostly everything done before I go chief.
Okay. Did you make the docket scan?
Yes,
It's
I'm
a-
still
it's-
working on it.
We're working on it. We're making it a skinny docket so that it's not as much.
I'll be my second request for Friday. See if I'm not gonna be here all Friday. I'm still jury trial. It's gonna be just
Okay.
Kevin.
Sorry. I am.
I'm not gonna be here. for Friday.
I try not to take many days off. Just now
No,
I'm chaperoning a bunch of kids.
It's
It's not.
It's not my fault, letting you know, but there may be in a situation where, everything gets done Thursday, so I'm here Friday. It just really depends on the jury trial, but the jury trial is starting tomorrow at 11. So,
Okay.
and it's DWI.
If it goes.
Yeah.
It may not even
If it
go.
goes,
You know?
if it goes, right, that's true.
Okay. All right. What about dude over there? Mr. Harrison's back.
That's,
Harrison.
he went to go get tested. He was to come back to see.
Yes, I'm gonna go figure out how to do that, so I'll get to you today.
I don't know who the other guy was, but I know this one.
It was Carl's guy.
Yes, Carl's guy, this one, was to get tested and come back to see what you wanted to do with him afterwards.
Just a normal
And
reset.
I told Carl that I would call him for a normal reset.
Yeah, it's just a
Okay.
normal reset.
Normal reset. All right,
And
you ready to
then
go?
the other guy was going to test positive for weed and ecstasy, but I wanted to know if there was going to be more. So that was Bonita.
That was Sonia's person
Trial and
We should have known.
to get drug tested today? Or did you mean Wheeler? Yeah. Yeah, Carl said he was
Come
gonna test
on.
positive for a few things.
Lord. Do we have the results yet?
Yeah, that's a pretrial thing.
Tell me. Let me.
Yeah, that's what it says.
Okay. Thanks. See you soon. See you Monday.
Okay.
Okay, guys, listen.
His name is Keith.
I know that tomorrow's stream, I'm going to hear it, and I'm going to hear the comments that I didn't play at Fleischer tomorrow. But he's off, guys. He's not working. He didn't work Thursday or Friday. I saved some of yesterday, some of Wednesdays for today. But I don't have anything to show you because he didn't work. So I know everybody in chat knows, but my commenters are going to comment that they're looking for Fleischer. But I promise you, I have a custody trial that is so good in Georgia, guys. So it's fine. It's not Fleischer good, but it's so good in Georgia. So I'll play that this weekend sometime. I'm going out tomorrow night. I decided, or tonight. Tonight's Friday. I'm going out. So, and then I work a double on Saturday. So I probably am going to stream tomorrow anyway, but I don't know about Saturday. Saturday's really, really iffy. But don't worry, you're gonna love this custody. You're gonna love this custody so much that if I take a day off, it won't matter because you're still gonna love the custody. Guys, thank you so much for coming out. Melissa, thank you. Oh my goodness. It's always great. The chat is awesome. And I know I stopped the video to talk to my chat a lot, but you don't understand, guys. My chat is awesome. These fivers are so good. It's just so funny. Oh no. Okay. I gotta stop watching chat because they distract me and I can't talk. Yeah, we should send Judge Fleischer some sweet tarts. I think I'm gonna do that. I think I am definitely gonna do that. I'm just gonna send them to the courthouse and hope that they make it to him. They probably won't. I don't think he's allowed to accept it. But I'm still gonna do it. I'm allowed to send sweet tarts to somebody. He's probably gonna be freaked out, and then we're gonna get a protection of abuse order against us all, and it'll be my fault. And that's fine. I'll accept that. Everybody gets one sometimes. It looks like on the every day it's protection of abuse or DUI. Yeah, everyone have a great day. Behave. Be nice. Jelly beans. Thanks, May. Thanks, Shaw. Oh man, 4-hour drive. Whoo. All right, guys, that's a wrap. Yeah, I stole that line.